Okay, this video is called Book Review of American Gospel by John Meacham. I just listen to these books in the car. I listened to all three of these books, and I can tell you, Meacham's book, it's really wimpy. I mean, he did some good things. Meacham, he did a good job of finding some quotes. I'll go through a couple of those, and there were actually a lot of good quotes in the book. But, I didn't make sense until I figured out how old he is. He's young. He's only about 54 years old. So a little rule of thumb I'll give you for writers, usually the young ones, especially the modern ones that have anything to do whatsoever with the university system, they're usually a bunch of lightweights and wimps. The reason is the university system has a very controlled, narrow, conformist way of talking and doing things, and anything outside of that's not allowed, or they lose their jobs or get in trouble. So in general, anything written by somebody associated with universities, it's usually going to stink. So it was okay, but it wasn't really that good. This is a really good book. Jefferson Lies. This is one of my favorite books on the Founding Fathers, okay? This was a great book by David Barton. If you just want, if you haven't studied much yet about the Founding Fathers, I've read a whole bunch of books about them. I think this is a good one to start. This is the best one to get started. Bill O'Reilly and Martin Dugard. Martin Dugard actually did most of the work. Bill O'Reilly's a big entertainer, though, and, he's good. I like him, but this is very entertaining. This is the most full of adventure and excitement and drama. So that's the best book to read if you want to get a sense of what happened during that time and you haven't read much about it in a long time. If you actually know a lot about it and you want a sophisticated analysis, this is the best book, Jefferson's Lies. I thought that was great. This is just sort of a wimpy modernist type book or something, but he still had a few good quotes that I liked. Okay, Meacham made the distinction between civic religion, this was supposed to be, or civil religion that is largely controlled by the ruler, whatever they say, kind of like Henry VIII was in charge of the Anglican Church in England. Public religion is sort of what the society agrees on, which of course is influenced by the ruler. Private religion is what people do on their own time. The original population in the USA was especially the Puritan Protestants, sort of breaking away from the Anglican Church. For example, other people from England, and there were people from a variety of places. David Barton's book, like I said, on Thomas Jefferson is much better, as is Bill O'Reilly's. Just examples of some of the good quotes. Abe Lincoln said, "If slavery is not wrong, then nothing is wrong." As a matter of fact, a lot of people were trying to escape from slavery. Okay, my Irish ancestors, they were enslaved by the British. Okay, if you ever read about the British penal laws, the potato famine and whatnot, slavery was a problem. Actually, since the beginning of history, slavery has been very common throughout the world. William Shakespeare quote, "The devil can cite scripture to his purpose." Ben Franklin, "If a sparrow cannot fall to the ground without God's knowledge, then how can an empire rise without his aid?" Okay, yeah, so the Founding Fathers were way more religious than is widely recognized. Far more. Okay, and that's actually important to know. Okay, Meacham, what does he say? "Divide and conquer is the motto of tyrants." Yeah, that's pretty obvious. You can see it used to be America was e pluribus unum, out of many one. Now it's the opposite, out of one, many fractionated groups. And the more fractionated, the weaker the population and the more pushed they are towards slavery. For example, it's not an accident that no-fault divorce causes so many divorces. That's actually makes people easier to control. That makes boys easier to control. If they don't grow up with fathers around, they're less able to control their emotions and focus on achievement. I like the way they called George III of England the Pharaoh of England, who had hardened his heart. Yeah, that's good. I think he distorts the concept of separation of church and state, which, going back to Thomas Jefferson, was mostly a point of let the people worship whoever they wanted to and not be forced to become Anglicans, for example, as they used to be in early America before 1776. A Benjamin Rush quote is a pretty good one. "Religion is essential for morality. In all of Greek and Roman history and my experience, I have never seen an irreligious man who was not a rascal." There's a lot of truth in that statement. So anyways, I just mentioned it because I read it recently. If you're interested in the Revolutionary War, the Founding Fathers, and it's new to you, I say start with O'Reilly. If you read a lot about it, David Barton's book's much better. So, anyways, That's it. Hope that's all.